Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about tariffs, trade, and trucking. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leaseon owner-operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about tariffs, trade, and trucking. Guys, tariffs are absolutely rocking the freight markets as we speak. Everything's upside down, and rates are going in two different directions. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. The markets that I've talked to a lot of you guys over the phone recently have flipped. Some of the freight coming in from the east to west is paying the kind of money that you'd expect from freight paying from the west to east, and then it flips back and forth. But that's not what this video is about. That's part of it. I mean, what we're talking about here is spot rates that are facing major volatility. There's wild price swings happening. And then when you're looking at contract rates, contract market, contract rates are staying flat, pretty much right where they were, not doing great, but at least not seeing the kind of volatility that we're seeing in the spot market. Now, shippers are sticking around with the incumbents. Now, what that means is basically they're sticking around with the companies that they've partnered with, the trucking company that they've worked with. They're not really taking on new talent. They're not really taking on new companies, new partners, and trying to basically, everyone's just kind of sitting around waiting to see what's going on, because everyone's kind of like burnt out and really tired and not really sure what's going on with the tariffs, because they're either, they're here one day, gone another, they're all the way up here, then they're lower, then they drop them, then they bring them back up, and it's just all over the place. And the companies are having a hard time planning for what's going to be happening tomorrow, much less what's going to happen next quarter. And next quarter we will talk about also, because that's going to be the real important one going into Q3. Now, shippers, like I said, are sticking with the incumbents, and demand. Unfortunately, demand still lacks a catalyst. So in other words, there's really nothing going on out there that's forcing any sort of major volume spikes to appear in the market. So we're not really seeing any of that going on. And tariff policy shifts that are basically, like I said, changing on a daily basis are not helping companies in terms of planning. Planning is very difficult for shippers, for manufacturers, for retailers, and of course for trucking companies such as yourself. Now, furthermore, truck orders, they're slowing down. They're slow amid all of this uncertainty because, again, carriers are having a hard time planning for tomorrow. They're not understanding how to budget and what's around the corner. They aren't buying new trucks ultimately and updating their equipment. And we've talked about this in previous videos where the numbers were coming up, then they were going down, they're coming back up. And it's really a sign of a lot of instability in the markets. And we're definitely seeing that in the truck purchasing. Now, manufacturing output is shrinking, which is an unfortunate thing because, as manufacturing output shrinks, carriers aren't going to have the freight that they need to be able to really get it out there. Factories are going to be producing less, and which means that there's going to be less freight for all of us to carry. And the number of trucks is remaining about the same, certainly declining, but at a very slow pace as it has been over the last 3+ years. And so ultimately it's not happening at the same rate that the freight is declining. And so as tonnage goes down, there's going to be a lot more companies that are fighting for a smaller piece of the pie. And so therefore that drives the prices down. And that's exactly what we've been seeing in the market up to now. Now, what the good news is that you can expect some really strong back to school freight. That could definitely boost freight, and the seasonal shipping surge should be expected. But again, that's going to die down. And as we get in towards, into third quarter, getting into the fourth quarter, closing out the year, obviously things are going to slow down. And ultimately, we're going to be having to look at the third quarter as an indicator of the things to come. Now, let's talk about a little bit about inflation. I know that, with CPI numbers, with core CPI numbers having come in, a lot of folks are looking at that as they should. But what's been interesting is watching the media talk about CPI and talking about, for example, things are cooling and things are improving, but ultimately CPI numbers actually went up. So inflation actually went up. But then a lot of the media outlets out there actually talked about CPI going down, and they're twisting words and they're doing all sorts of mental gymnastics in order to be able to come up with different ways of producing this information to you, for putting it out there, softening the blow. But ultimately, inflation, while it does stay low, let's just say for now, all right? So prices basically aren't rising quickly, and that's the best of it at this point. So inflation definitely is staying low, but again, for now, we shall see where it leads into the third quarter. Now, core CPI, those of you guys who follow our channel for a while might remember some videos that I made in the past where core CPI basically removes food pricing and energy and basically stabilizes the number for inflation to be able to follow that. So core CPI has been steady at 2.8%, and that is a positive indicator. Now, retailers, they are delaying price increases, which is a positive thing for the consumer, because despite higher costs to the retailers, they're able to hold their own and keep prices down for consumers that are really, really struggling. The American consumer drives the American economy and has been struggling and barely able to make ends meet. So, having the retailers really, hold their horses on increasing prices despite increasing costs on their end, it was really something, to write home about. Now, the other thing to consider here is that the Fed may hold the rates a bit longer. So the central banks may not cut the rates for some time. And so a lot of folks are really holding their horses on, major purchases because it's very, very expensive, borrowing money, getting, into your home, especially your first time homes, make major renovations, large purchases like, cars and trucks, whatnot, SUVs and education, taking out loans of any sort. So people are really holding back, really waiting for the rate cuts, which don't look like they're coming, at least not right now, or maybe not anytime soon. But so that's, that may be an issue a little bit, because that also affects trucking in terms of, equipment financing and major purchases on the commercial end of things, commercial lending. Now, there's also the deal with China. It's really creating a lot of uncertainty because there's not a lot of detail on what's going on. Everyone's talking about the deal is done. We're going to move forward with China. But, this actually is adding more confusion rather than clarity. And unfortunately, that is not helping analysts provide the data that we need to be able to make our purchasing decisions and for the industry to move forward, for retailers to move forward, for freight to finally come up so that truckers can have some freight, some volume, some tonnage, some product to move around and ship. So for a little while longer, you guys, you're gonna have to hold your horses and really hold tight. Truckers are gonna have to be flexible in the third quarter because these shaky markets, you're gonna have to be ready for just about anything in such a shaky environment. So guys, don't want to be all about doom and gloom. And this isn't necessarily doom and gloom. This is more of being a realist, not necessarily a pessimist. We just have to hold on to our hats, hold on to dear life, if you will, and keep doing what you're doing. And get yourself a strong dispatcher. That's one way to for sure help increase your bottom line and make sure you're still in business. Guys, would love to hear from you about all of this in the comment section below. If you haven't done so, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. For now, I'll switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads we booked for our customers, and I'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, this week we have vans across the board. Everyone did quite well, especially considering the market conditions. I know a lot of you guys are running at $1 or less, and we don't have any of that kind of freight here today. We, in fact, have well over $2 in much of the freight, and sometimes even over $3 a mile on the load basis. So, it really depends. We're definitely waiting for the better days to come, and those days will come. So let's go ahead and get started. Everyone's going to be doing a drive-in today, starting out with Tariq. And I can't wait till the comments on this one. Definitely starting off with this one. It was definitely risky. One pick, 15 dropper. Tariq is picking up out of Bangor, Maine, going to Sulphur, Louisiana, Humble, Texas. Another one in Humble, Texas, Spring, Texas, Willis, Texas, College Station, Texas, Cypress, Texas, Katy, Texas, Houston, Texas, another in Houston, Missouri City, Texas, another Missouri City, Texas, Friendswood, Texas, and a final in League City, Texas. That's a lot of stops. One pick, 15 drops for general purpose refrigerators or refrigerator freezers. It's a very light load of 15,000 pounds. I can just see this thing just getting lighter and lighter on every one of those drops. 2,365 loaded miles booked at $47.50. Got them just over $2 at $2.01 a loaded mile. This market is rough, you guys. And like I said, I'm going to hear about this in the comment section. But a lot of you guys don't understand that what we're dealing with in this market, what we have to do to get these kind of numbers. But you just wait. Next, he picked up a load out of Freeport, Texas, coming out to Macon, Georgia. So not much deadhead at all. 40,000 pound load of FAK. It's a miscellaneous load. 876 loaded miles booked at $23.50, made up a difference at $2.68 a loaded mile. And guess what? That was it. Friday to Friday, $7,100 in 7 days, over $1,000 a day. Tariq, you made it happen, my friend. Excellent job. I know it wasn't an easy one, but still, 3,241 loaded miles. We got that booked at $7,100 in total. That got him $219 a loaded mile. Only 70 miles of deadhead, guys. That lowered him to $214 with deadhead included total miles. So I would say for this drive van, absolutely an excellent week for this van. And he's going to come out of Macon, Georgia. Definitely a lot better money coming out of that part of the country. So complain all you want, but this was not bad at all. Next, we got Oscar coming out of Texarkana, Texas. Going to Coldwater, Michigan. It's a 44,000 pound load of pool salt. It's a bagged load, 911 loaded miles booked at $18.90. That got him $207 a loaded mile. Then right at Coldwater, Michigan, zero deadhead coming out to London, Kentucky. 43,000 pound load of auto parts. 406 loaded miles booked at $1,000, got him $246 a loaded mile. Then Corbin, Kentucky, coming out to Martinsburg, West Virginia, light load, 12,000 pound load of dishwashers or dish machines as they call it. 480 loaded miles booked at $1,500, got him $313 a loaded mile. There's your $3 freight, guys. Then Green Council, PA, going out to Owatonna, Minnesota. It's an FAK load, 40,000 on the weight, just over 1,000 miles. 1,002 loaded miles, booked at $18.50, got him $1.85 on that one. And that's it. Friday to Friday, 7 days on a road, gross 6,240, ran 2,799 loaded miles, only 46 deadhead miles, guys. That got him $223 a loaded mile, dropping down to $219 with deadhead included. Again, another great week. High averages for this drive van, and like I said, some of the freight was a little bit on the lighter side. So well done. I would say well done, Oscar. This is a tough market, guys. Moving on to Jose, also a drive in like the rest of the drivers. A load of beer, a Corona beer, 44,000 pound load coming out of Eagle Pass, Texas, going to Lafayette, Louisiana. It's a 553 loaded miles booked at $16.70. Got him $3 load, $302 a loaded mile. Not too shabby on the next one as well, out of Orange, Texas, coming out to Neenah, Wisconsin. 44.5 on a load of miscellaneous product, 1,190 loaded miles, booked at 24.10, got him 203 a loaded mile. Then right out of Neenah, zero deadhead, coming out to Centerville, Iowa. It's a 14,500 pound load of packaging materials. Very, very light load. 413 loaded miles at $900, gets you 218 a loaded mile. Then Kirksville, Missouri, coming out to Shreveport, Louisiana. 43.5 load cardboard boxes. This is recycled but clean. OCC at 666 loaded miles, booked at $13.30, got him $2 on the dot. Excellent job on dispatch on this one. 7 days on the road, Wednesday to Wednesday, 63.10 on gross for the week. Ran 2,822 loaded miles, 164 deadhead miles, gets you 224 a loaded mile, and 211 in total. So good week as well, good gross, good average. Some of the freight was lighter on a 14,000 pound load. So an excellent job there as well, Jose. Way to go, sir. And coming out of Louisiana should be better next week. Next, moving on to, let's see where we got. We got Sherry. Sherry's pulling out of Portland, Tennessee, going to Flint, Michigan. It's an 18.5 load of assemblies. 542 loaded miles, booked at $11.50. gets her 212 a loaded mile, an excellent job. Then Flint, Michigan, coming out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, 18,000 pound light load again, packaging materials, 933 loaded miles at $1,900, got her over $2 at 204 loaded mile. Then Catoosa, Oklahoma to Seminole, Texas, 44.5 on a weight of ammonium sulfate, 547 loaded miles, booked at $1,475, got her $270 a loaded mile, an excellent job. Then they pulled out of Carlsbad, New Mexico, a tough market. That's where the deadhead happened. Coming out to Guntersville, Alabama. It's a 22.5 load, light load assault, 1,166 loaded miles, a ton of miles, an excellent job there. Booked at $1,940, got her a $1.66 on that one. Averaged out excellent. It's a game of averages, Monday to Monday. Gross 64.65 for the week, ran 3,188 loaded miles, an excellent job there, Sherry. 114 deadhead miles. That got her 203 a loaded mile and $1.96 all in. It's I guess, again, good gross. Definitely, some pretty light loads there. 18.5, 18, 22.5 for the vast majority of the miles, almost all of them. The only load was 547 miles. That was 44.5 on a load. So, this lady driver did a fantastic job in my book. An excellent job, Sherry. Way to go, ma'am. Next, moving on to Lucas, another dry van coming out of Boone, Iowa, going to Van Buren, Indiana, 42,000 pound load of popcorn material. So whatever that means, popcorn material, 522 loaded miles, booked at $1,000, gets you $1.92 a loaded mile. Then Elwood, Indiana, to Temple, Texas, 43.5 load tomato product, 1,061 loaded miles at $1,850, gets you $1.74 on that one. Then Temple, Texas, zero deadhead coming out to Morristown, Tennessee. It's a 20,000 pound load of school furniture. Another longer run, 1,002 miles, booked at $2,000, got him $2 on the dot. 20,000 pound is nice and light. Then right out of urban Tennessee, coming out to Anderson, Indiana. It's a 14,000 pound light load of bearings, 451 loaded miles at $850. Got him a $1.88 on that one. And finished off out of Marion, Indiana, coming out to Weberville, Michigan. 10,000 pound light load of popcorn, 200 miles on a dot, booked at $650. Got a $3.25 to finish off the week. Thursday to Thursday, Lucas ran $6,350 worth of freight in gross. Ran 3,236 respectable loaded miles. Only 135 deadhead miles with all those separate loads. Does an excellent job. Got $1.96 with loaded mile and all in at $1.88. No complaints there. Did an excellent job. A little bit on the lower end, but guys, very, very light load. 20,000, 14,000, 10,000 pound load. As you saw, a lot of our carriers, a lot of our owner operators were running a lot lighter freight. And we'll finish off with Eddie, another dry van coming out of Carrollton, Texas, going to Columbus, Nebraska. It's an 18,000 pound load of seasonings and coatings, 630 loaded miles, booked at $13.79. Then that got him $2.19 a loaded mile. Then Chapman, Nebraska, coming out to Monroe, Washington, all the way to Washington. 44,000 pound load of popcorn, 1,602 loaded miles, booked at $3,300. Got him $2.06 a loaded mile coming out to Washington. And then out of Washington, out of Custer, Washington, took a 1-pick, 2-dropper load of feed coming out to Laverne, Minnesota, and Hardwick, Minnesota. 1-pick, 2-dropper. It's 1,566 loaded miles, 44,000 on the weight. Booked at $2,200. Got him a $1.40 on that one. Averaged them out on Thursday to Thursday, 70 on the road, $6,879 dollars in gross. Ran 3,798 loaded miles. Only 190 deadhead miles. Got him $1.81 on that one, and then finished off at $1.72 with deadhead included, all miles. So yeah, absolutely a little bit lower on the last on for Lucas and Eddie there, but they're definitely positioned in a better way with Michigan and Minnesota. And everybody else, as you saw, $2, $3 freight. It's still possible, guys. Excellent job. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Guys, as you can see, the rates have certainly declined, at least since last week, because of all this uncertainty, all of this unpredictability. It's driving the market crazy. A lot of folks are staying home. A lot of folks simply cannot move for the kind of money that the market is offering. They will not turn the key. And at the end of the day, I don't blame them, because a lot of folks have very high operating costs. There are not that many companies out there, not a lot of owner operators out there that can run under $1. And a lot of the freight that's out there is under $1. I was just talking to some of our guys, and they're saying, look, there's freight out there that's, basically pays next to nothing. Today, for example, there was a portion of Indiana, 200-mile radius, where there was no freight going any direction. When's the last time we've seen something like that? So absolutely everything I said in the first portion of the video is matching up with what we're seeing in the market. So I'll put it bluntly, if you're not seeing the kind of money that we just showed you, then get in touch with us at 801-448-6363. Call or text that number to get more information, or go on our website at aftdispatch.com and fill out the box that's right for you for carriers or for leaseon owner operators, and you'll get to work with our wonderful dispatchers. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.